In the heart of medieval County Durham, where the River Wear coils like a silver serpent through the valleys, there once lived a young noble, John Lambton, heir to the ancient estate of Lambton Castle. Bold, reckless, and brimming with arrogance, John was a youth who cared for little but sport and pleasure, defiant of God and man alike. One fateful Sunday morning, ignoring church bells that tolled for Mass, John instead took his fishing rod and made his way to the quiet bends of the river. As he cast his line into the waters, he felt a strange resistance, not the heavy pull of trout or pike, but something unnatural. When he hauled it in, he found a creature unlike anything he'd seen, slimy, black-green, with gills like a fish and a face shaped almost like a man's, but twisted wrong. It writhed in his hands and let out a guttural hiss, more hiss than breath. Disgusted, John dropped it into a nearby well and forgot it entirely. That same day, he left for war in a distant land, and so began the legend of the Lambton worm. Years passed. The well festered. The creature grew. What John had caught and discarded was no mere animal. It was a worm, an ancient name for dragon or beast, and its appetite grew as it did. From the depths of the well, it clawed its way free and slithered into the land, leaving a trail of slaughtered livestock, poisoned wells, and ruined crops. Its scales were iron-hard, its teeth like spears. Men who tried to slay it with sword or spear found that whenever it was cut in two, the pieces simply joined again, writhing back into wholeness. By night, the beast coiled itself 3 times around a lonely hill near Penshaw, which became known forever after as Worm Hill. From there, it would descend into the villages, feeding on sheep, cows, and men alike. The people lived in terror. Fields lay fallow. Bells rang only to mourn the dead. 7 years later, Sir John Lambton, now a grizzled veteran of the Crusades, returned home, weary, changed, and haunted by whispers of his homeland's ruin. When he heard of the monstrous worm and learned of the creature he had once carelessly tossed into a well, remorse consumed him. Desperate to undo what he had unleashed, John sought out the counsel of a wise woman, a witch who lived deep in the woods. She told him, "Cover thyself in razor blades, and face the worm not on land, but in the flowing river, where its parts may be carried away." But the price for her knowledge was steep. She warned, "When thou return victorious, the first soul to greet thee must be slain. If thou refusest, thy line shall carry a curse, and die in violence evermore." John agreed with a heavy heart, and made a pact with his father. Once the bugle sounded the worm's death, he would release a greyhound to greet him, sparing John from patricide. Clad in armor laced with gleaming blades, Sir John stood in the middle of the river, sword drawn. The beast came, sensing him, and lunged. It wrapped its massive, scaled body around him, intending to crush, but with each coil, its flesh was shredded. The razors sliced deep, and the river's current swept the bleeding segments away before they could reunite. The beast screamed, louder than thunder, and then it died, its pieces scattered and lost forever to the Wear. Sir John sounded his victory blast, but fate, cruel as ever, intervened. His aged father, overcome with joy, ran to greet his son, forgetting the greyhound entirely. John stood frozen. He could not kill his own blood. He let his father embrace him. And so, as the witch had warned, the curse was sealed. From that day on, the Lambton family fell under a terrible doom. Generation after generation, Lambtons died unnatural deaths, skewered in battle, crushed by falling beams, drowned in shallow ponds, slain by their own horses. Some whispered that the worm had returned in another form, slithering through the bloodline itself. Even now, the ruins of Lambton Castle remain, and Worm Hill still casts its long shadow over the village of Penshaw. Locals say on stormy nights, if you walk too close to the old well, you'll hear a wet hiss and the clink of armor, and a whisper. You let it live. Now it lives in you. If you enjoyed this eerie tale from Britain's haunted past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite legend, or share a chilling local story of your own.